Welcome back to Peach State Politics. I'm Stephen Fowler, your GPB Education Capital correspondent. Have you ever wondered how lawmakers decide when they show up to work and when they get to go home? Well, it's called the calendar, and it's not the typical calendar that you may think. This calendar is a special calendar that runs from about January to April instead of January to December. State law says that a legislative session has to last 40 legislative days, and it starts the second Monday in January. We also operate on something called a biennial schedule, which means that there are 2 sets of legislative sessions before bills have to start over. Now, once the first day happens, lawmakers have to meet to figure out the rest of the calendar in their schedule. When they have working legislative days, when they have days off, when they have committee meetings, and when they ultimately have to go home. Now, there's 2 funny words that have to do with the calendar that apply to things. One is crossover day. On that day, a bill has to make it out of the House or the Senate to be considered for the rest of the session. So that way, there's not a last-minute bill that comes up that they have to stop and consider and go through all the motions. The other one is called sine die. Now, this fancy Latin word happens on the last day of the legislative session, which is a marathon working session where lawmakers have to pass bills like crazy. If something doesn't make it by the end of sine die in the first year, it can be taken up in the next year's session. But if it's the end of the biennial in that second year, if a bill doesn't make it past sine die, then it has to start the process all over. Do you have questions about how our calendar works in the legislative session? Want to know what sine die means? Other things like that? Shoot me a question at gpb.org/PSP. I'm Stephen Fowler, your GPB Education Capital correspondent. Thanks for watching.